Hi, everyone. My name is Emilio. I work in Aave Labs. Aave Labs is the company who started the whole Aave thing. We started in 2017. I was there almost since the beginning, essentially after Stani had the idea of Ethland. Back in the days, it was called Ethland. Then it was renamed to Aave. I'm basically almost since the beginning. Those were fun times for stablecoins because actually there was no DAI, there was no USDC. USDT was on Omnichain, so it was not on Ethereum. And I remember it was pretty interesting to see how people was using ETH to actually borrow back in the days. Like we had this peer-to-peer platform. There were no stablecoins to borrow, so people were using ETH to borrow against all the tokens back then were on Ethereum, so it was pretty cool. After that, we moved to, we renamed to Aave. After Compound was released, we decided to build something that would build on that foundation of the pool design, of the pool model. But we added some very interesting features that actually made Aave what it is today. So we had 8 tokens, we had flash loans, we had different ways of borrowing with different rates. We had stable rate, we had variable rate, and so on and so forth. Then we had Aave V2, Aave V3, which have been basically improvements on top of the foundation of Aave V1. Like that was actually a very very strong design decision in the sense that the Aave model was working, and we knew what we needed to improve to actually make it even more scalable and more efficient. And plus, we didn't want to disrupt the work of the integrators. But today we are going to actually talk about what's going to change, because Aave V4 is around the next, like it's coming live in the next months. So I heard before someone saying in the panel before that the design space is a bit stale lately in DeFi, which I kind of agree. So let's see what do we have coming up. I think I'm very excited about Aave V4 because I think there is going to be a lot to talk about in the next months. So the focus, of course, is on stablecoins. So stablecoins are basically the strongest DeFi primitive. They are growing at an insane pace, and they are by far the most liquid asset available on all the various networks. A big chunk of these stablecoins are actually in Aave. We're talking about I don't remember now, maybe more than 10 billion. And so why are they getting traction, and how things are changing compared to the last few years, right? So they are gaining traction because of ease of transacting with stablecoins, because of the stability that they bring on chain. They allow to go from volatility to stability very easily. Plus, lately we have this growth of RWAs, mostly in the form of money market, on-chain money market funds, that allow a very interesting thing that we have been seeing in the last months, which is arbitraging rates between DeFi and TradFi, right? So what we have been noticing is that when rates are low in DeFi, people actually move to RWAs, to like Beetle, for example, to gain the advantage of higher TradFi rates. And the opposite happens whenever rates in DeFi are higher. So borrowing demand increases. So one of the things that we are going to focus with Aave V4 is to make this process efficient, and we'll see how. So what we can actually do to improve stablecoin yield on chain, like we can work in integrating more seamlessly traditional finance products, but there is still a lot to do in the DeFi design space as well. So one thing that we have been noticing, especially as the market is growing, is that whenever there is decreased demand for borrowing, what happens is that there is a huge amount of huge capital available for borrowing in Aave, which is idle essentially because nobody's borrowing it, which on average decreases the efficiency of the protocol and of the yield generated, right? So one thing that we can do for sure is unlocking capital and in unexplored areas. So one of these unexplored areas, which I'm very excited about, is liquidity that is in decentralized exchanges, right? So in Aave, we have tried many times to actually try to unlock this liquidity, to let people borrow against this liquidity. It failed for a variety of reasons. Like it was really hard back in the days, like the DEX design space was moving very fast. It was hard to keep up building on top of that. It was also very hard. There was challenging around pricing and so on and so forth. Damn, 18 minutes are very short. I am already 5 minutes left. What the okay, so yeah, I mean, so what we also want to do is make this RWA DeFi transition very seamless and simplify access also to new stablecoins. There is going to be a wave of new stablecoins coming. Many TradFi entities want their own stablecoins. So how do we facilitate the adoption of those? So I mentioned before Aave V4. Aave V4 is going to be a completely new product, has nothing to do with V3 in terms of design and architecture. It still retains the same pool model, but what we wanted to achieve was like being able to unlock different areas of demand. So compared to Aave V3, where the borrowing happens in a very standardized and unified way, in V4, we will have pluggable borrowing strategies. So you can have the same borrowing strategy just as Aave V3 today, but you can have the capability to borrow, for example, from safe vaults, which today is not possible. Today, the collateral needs to be in Aave to be able to borrow, right? But thanks to V4, we will be able to borrow modules that actually interface like safe vaults and Aave. So even if the collateral is in a safe, you will be able to borrow liquidity from Aave, and the collateral is going to stay locked into your safe. If you, for example, you don't want, this was one of the features that TradFi asked us, to be able to keep the collateral separated from the pools and at the same time to be able to borrow, right? There is another feature that is coming up, which is like we did a proposal to the Uniswap DAO to unlock liquidity that is in the Uniswap LP positions. But about this, we'll talk shortly. So we will have this a new architecture. The liquidity provisioning part called Liquidity Hub is completely separated by the borrowing part. This allows us to plug different borrowing engines on top of the liquidity provisioning. So as I mentioned, one of the things I'm excited about is like unlocking capital that is in places where currently users experience a certain cost, opportunity cost. One of these is DEX LP position. So users that are providing liquidity to DEXs are usually experiencing not only volatility risk, but also opportunity cost, because your stable coins that are in the DEX, for example, they could be somewhere else earning more yield, right? So by allowing borrowing against this liquidity, we will be able to unlock this capital and to increase the borrow demand even when the relative demand in the market is lower, right? Another feature that Aave V4 will have is a reinvestment feature. So as I mentioned before, one of the things that we have noticed especially in the last year and a half or so, is that as soon as demand goes down, we end up with a lot of unused capital, right? And to make the transition between TradFi and DeFi easier, like the most convenient way is to actually take this capital and invest it somewhere else to optimize the yield, right? Because we, of course, want to facilitate users in providing liquidity into Aave and not having to leave Aave and enter a TradFi product, and trying to remove that friction. So to remove that friction, Aave V4 will have a native reinvestment feature, kind of similar to what Balancer does today, for those who are familiar with the Balancer protocol. And this will allow liquidity to enter and exit other reinvestment products more easily. I'm thinking of, for example, or SDAI or SUSDS or even BDL for USDC, right? Another thing that we are planning to do is to facilitate the collateralization or RWA products. Because another friction that today users who use BDL have, for example, is that they lose like an instant possibility of going from BDL to ETH, for example. So if I want to be long ETH, but I'm BDL, it is not that easy to actually go from BDL to ETH because you have a redemption fund, but if the redemption fund is not big enough, you might not be able to redeem. Then you need to wait like I don't remember, I think a couple of weeks to be able to redeem. There is a fee and so on and so forth. So sometimes being able to actually collateralize to go back to DeFi rather than to have to redeem makes things a bit easier and more capital efficient. Another thing that is going to be very interesting is like native yield redistribution. So what I mean by that is that today stablecoins, either centralized or decentralized, they have native yield generation feature, which comes from either reinvesting the collateral backing these stablecoins, in the case of USDC or USDT, for example, or from the borrowing demand that is actually generating the stablecoin, in the case of Go or USDS. So one thing that we will facilitate in Aave V4 is going to be redistributing this interest. We have SGO, and we recently released SGO, which essentially allows to stake Go for a return in yield coming from the borrowing demand of Go itself. So on Aave V4 is going to be very easy to actually redistribute yield if stablecoins issuer plan to do so. So conclusion, I had to rush a lot. Yeah, so we are trying to make the bridge between DeFi and TradFi more seamless, more easy, to also further optimize DeFi yield to make it as much competitive as possible, even in a situation of low market demand, and facilitate and embrace native yield distribution. So yes, that's pretty much it. Thank you, guys.